Hey everyone, my name is Calan, and I wanted to take a few minutes to tell you what Ash and Anvil is, what the books are about, and why I wrote them. I'm not doing it as a salesman, I'm not an expert, I'm not trained in the medical field in any way. I'm, I wrote these as a man who walked through the fire, I fell apart, and I have rebuilt myself and found purpose in the ashes afterwards. Ash and Anvil wasn't born out of success, and it wasn't born out of confidence or clarity or some big plan. It started in a season where everything in my life, my relationship, my home, my sense of self, collapsed all at the same time. And like a lot of men, I didn't break loud. I broke quietly. I buried myself in work, stayed silent, smiled less, slept worse, and told everyone I'm good, even when I wasn't. I didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't know what to hold on to. And I didn't know how to talk about any of it without feeling like a burden to everybody. So I wrote. At first, it was just notes, thoughts when I couldn't sleep, and page after page, night after night, I just tried to make sense of the wreckage. Now, those pages eventually became the foundation for this entire brand. It's not a self help in the traditional sense, but survival, reflection, truth, and the long, painful, beautiful process of rebuilding a man from the inside out. The first book I did was actually Forged Connection. Now, I've never been an author, but I wanted to write something where you learn how to show up for yourself, for others, and the relationships you want in life. It was about restoring integrity, rebuilding trust, and learning what genuine connection looks like after heartbreak. Not from a place of desperation, but from self respect, confidence, and clarity. This one is the shortest of the series. I like to think of it as a field manual. Keep it in your backpack, keep it in your satchel, whatever you're using. Just something to ground you when you feel like the world's getting a little bit too noisy or you don't feel like you're coming across properly. The next book, of course, Grace and Iron, is what comes after the ashes settle. It's about rebuilding discipline, presence, emotional strength, and learning how to lead your life with intention, not just reaction. It's where you regain balance, where you learn the powers of restraint, calm, and purpose. This is the book where I define not only that I survived, but I was building something better than what I lost. It's funny because this book is about the reforging of modern man. And I have a very good friend who, for years, has been telling me I should write a book about what healthy masculinity looks like. I was way too humble to even consider it a few years ago, but I've started to try to live my life by the phrase sometimes you have to run before you can walk. And that's the purpose of this brand, that's the purpose of this channel. We can sit and think about what ifs all day long to the point where we never get anything done. This was my expression of overcoming that, and I'm proud of it. And then there's the big one. Um, what can I say? Forged in Loss is the beginning of my journey. It's the part that most men never talk about, the heartbreak, the confusion, the anger, the numbness, the feeling of watching your life burn and not knowing what will be left after the smoke clears. I got raw in this one. It's vulnerable. It's about the collapse that comes before we rise back up. It's where I tell the truth about what it means to lose everything and still choose to get up. Now, I don't go into the private details, but I can tell you that writing Forged in Loss really brought me back to those times. And I'm going back to them not because I think I'm some kind of hero or that I'm better than anybody, but because I remember the nights where I had every light on in the apartment and it still felt like the darkness was swallowing me. Where the panic attack raged for the fifth night in a row, and I couldn't sleep. And all I wanted to do was cry or scream or call someone, but there was shame in it, and I couldn't bring myself to do it. I wrote this book for that person, that version of me that was there. Now, I had a wonderful support network, family and friends, but they weren't always there, and I didn't always use them out of guilt. And also, how could they understand what I had been through if they hadn't been through it themselves? The thoughts that come to mind, the things, the angry bursts that you don't know where they come from. This book is meant to be something I wish I had when I sat in that crater. And there's chapters on everything, and there may be, when you pick up the book, some chapters you've already been through, and there may be some chapters you don't think you'll ever get to, and that's okay. I want you to find where you are. The whole idea of this entire book is that if you're sitting there in the dark, you're not sitting there alone anymore. I can sit with you. I can be there with you. And this book can be a resource that you go back to over and over again. Now, I am trying to get this brand off the ground. You've seen the social media posts and the building the pages. And I ask, if you do view this video, please take a moment to review the books on Amazon. They're available there, and I'll include the link in this description of this video. If you know somebody who could benefit from this. My friend told me that she wished her son had a positive male role model. That's why I wrote this one. It's also for me. Grace and Iron is how I figured out what kind of man I wanted to be again. Forge Connection, as I said earlier, is the field guide for how to carry yourself through life. And sometimes we all need that refresher if the day is long, or we know we've got something big coming up. And grief, loss, if you haven't been scarred by that flame yet, it's as sure as death. Nobody's getting out alive, and no one goes through a life without dealing with it. So if you know somebody who could benefit from this book, or you yourself could, please feel free. Review it, read it, share it. All of these represent the ability for me to take what I've been through and transmute it into something that can help. And that's the whole purpose behind this. I hope to one day grow it to a community that can be there for one another, that can support one another when we don't have anyone else who understands. Now, I'm doing well in my life, but I'm still on this journey, and there are moments I slide. I want you all to know that that's normal, and not to beat yourself up. So, with this video, this is the second time that I'm speaking over the camera. This is Calan Dvac, and hopefully we got the audio sorted this time. It's going to get better every time, I promise. I hope to bring people on that we can talk about the subjects and things that I hope would help others in the future. But I'd love to know what you recommend. Reach down in the comments, share, give me ideas. We have the ability to build something from the ground up that can really change people and help people. And that's the goal. And I look forward to forging this new chapter of my life and helping you do the same. So, thank you. Thank you for visiting the page. Thank you for purchasing the book. Thank you for reaching out, and thank you for following me. I hope this is the start of something truly wonderful, and I look forward to taking the journey with you. Have a wonderful day.